Good morning and welcome to your daily morning horoscope for Wednesday, May 7th, 2025. Aries, your ship comes in. Don't be surprised if you find a big fat check waiting for you. Who knows what you've done to deserve such kindness? Don't question your good fortune, just accept it with charm and grace. Finally, you can implement some of those home improvements. Take full advantage of the generosity of the universe. Deep down, you know you deserve it. Taurus, you can expect to reap the benefits of recent trainings or studies. You've made a huge leap in ability, especially with technological skills. As a result, you can expect to receive either a promotion or raise. It's the least your boss can do to reward you for all your hard work of late. If you continue at this pace, you will soon be running the company. Gemini, you may receive some important information today. This message could have a drastic ripple effect on your life. You may change jobs or even move to a different part of the country, all as a result of the information you've received. You may be nervous about making such dramatic changes to your life, but trust that they're for the better. Dare to take the risk and go ahead. Cancer. If you have no significant other, all indications are that this will soon change. A friend may set you up on a blind date that turns into a real winner. Perhaps you suddenly look at a long-time friend with new eyes. If you're in a committed relationship, you can expect to renew your bond. You feel closer to each other than ever. Celebrate your good fortune in finding each other. Leo, you have a persuasive nature. Take care that you don't come on too strong today. You may try to rally support for a favored cause of years. By all means, spread the word, but let others come to you if they're interested. You tend to beat people over the head about doing the right thing. Don't pressure anyone. If just a few people help, at least they will be truly committed. Virgo, what a day this could be. You may get an unexpected raise that seems to manifest out of the blue. Who knew it was possible? You may have a close friend to thank. He or she may have been responsible for making sure that you were in the right place at the right time. Your life could change dramatically as a result. Hold on for what is bound to be a wild ride. Libra, in spite of any feelings to the contrary, you're bound to be successful. You may be involved in a group project that requires a lot of time and effort. All indications are that it will pay off shortly. Continue to work these long hours, even if it means staying up all night. In just a few months, you will catch up on sleep and be rolling in money. Scorpio, you feel energetic and optimistic. You can do anything you set your mind to. This positive outlook is a refreshing change for the usual pessimism. It's certainly easier to go through life happy. As someone once said, people pretty much choose whether or not they're going to be happy. Kudos to you for making the right choice. You're bound to be successful once you believe you can. Sagittarius, you may not want to leave the house today. You may not feel very social and prefer to spend time alone. You could go through old photographs, read old letters, and look through the attic. Pondering memories with a new perspective may clear up some things. With the wisdom and experience you've gained over the years, certain past issues may now finally make sense. Capricorn, don't be surprised if you bump into an old friend today. This encounter could have a dramatic ripple effect on you as you reflect on your life and analyze how far you've come. You may realize you aren't entirely pleased with your direction. Your friend may point out that there are many new paths to happiness. Perhaps it's time to choose another one. Aquarius, today is your lucky day. You may get a windfall of some sort, maybe a check in the mail or a raise or promotion at work. This is just what you've been hoping for to elevate your lifestyle. Don't go nuts. Invest the money wisely and it will keep you rolling in dough. Spend it all at once and you won't have much to show in a few years. Pisces, airline travel is indicated in your immediate future. It's likely you've been feeling serious wanderlust lately as well as frustration with the same old routine. Be open to any interesting invitations that come your way today. If a friend invites you for a night out to the town, go despite any hesitation. You're bound to have a wonderful time and you do need the diversion. This has been your daily morning horoscope for Wednesday, May 7th, 2025. Do have yourself a great day.
Remarkable good morning to you, DBS family. Oh my goodness, we've climbed and we're at the hump. Today's Wednesday, it's hump day. Of course, hope you're having an amazing morning. Hope you just did your yoga or Zumba with Trevor Lawrence. Your coffee's in your hand and you're ready to view this amazing show this morning. But you know already how it goes. Before we get to the amazing stuff, we gotta check in with the news desk. Let's see what they have to say, yeah?
Good morning. Time now for the news. With me, Timothy Polion. An extraordinary meeting of the Civil Service Association was held yesterday as members seek to address concerns ranging from the alleged poor performance of the executive to the non-auditing of the trade union's finances over a 6-year period. The Vitbutai Cultural Club hosted event is centered around 3 petitions. A past president of the union says she is concerned that the CSA is in breach of the Constitution, whilst the current holder of the position is adamant that a forensic audit of the organization's financial accounts should be carried out.
As a member, it's concerning to me, and I'm here to hear all the sides to the various petitions, the reasons they were placed forward, and of course to get the rationale of some actions that are being taken. For me as a member, I'm extremely concerned to the fact that executive members and the petitions as they're stated, some of it is going ultra virus to what the Constitution states. And for me, as a long-serving member of CSA, I'm concerned that constitutional sections, articles within the Constitution are not being followed, and they're subject to a lot of interpretation, and that is what is causing this internal dispute.
We continue the broadcast with news that the desensitization of people towards the frequency within which crimes are occurring here and the severity is of serious concern to a counseling psychologist. He believes law-abiding citizens must seek to become more sensitive to the problem if it is to be tackled.
Violence in terms of how you deal with differences, how you deal with conflict, it is the norm. So it is nothing strange that people grow up believing that is the normal way of doing things.
Finally, from us this morning, a first aid training exercise to stem the flow of a body fluid amid an increase in violence on the island is currently being cited as a timely venture. It will be conducted over a 1-week period.
One of the things we notice even in St. Lucia, we hear more of gunshots. We have police officers who are out, of course, executing their duties and can get hurt. We saw a young man in the vicinity of Pigeon Island who also passed away because of loss of blood. So the idea to stop the bleed, as the name implies, is really to be able to administer a procedure that can save one's life.
And that's the news. Thank you so much for watching. Join us for our next news major, the Lunchtime Report at noon. My name is Timothy Polio. Good morning.
Many thanks to you, News Desk. Of course, stay with us. We'll be right back. This is DBS This Morning. Welcome back, DBS family. If you're a young person watching right now, you should stick around for sure, because this next segment is actually for you. We caught up with Brian Vidal of the Youth Economy to speak to us. Well, give us a little update as to what's going on with the youth economy, as well as some of the opportunities that you young people could have access to. Let's see what Brian had to say. Welcome back, DBS family. So, of course, we're here on a different capacity. And yeah, we're lounging in a nice little lounge room and so on, because we're having a nice and relaxed conversation about a very big venture happening in St. Lucia. It's been a talk of the town for a while now, youth economy. And we're here with, the best person to talk about the youth economy, Mr. Brian Vidal, Chief Executive Officer. How are you doing this morning?
I'm doing great, and thank you for coming to hear about us.
Of course. Always welcome to have you guys on board. So, it's been a while the youth economy has been launched. What can you tell us so far? How has it been in terms of applicants, the reactions from those same applicants and so on, seeing their businesses grow, the entire jazz of everything?
Well, yeah, it's a very exciting time to be a young person in St. Lucia. And when I say young person, I'm referring to persons within the ages of 15 to 35. Now, what is so exciting about the youth economy is that to date, we have received interest from St. Lucians. Over 4,200 St. Lucians have expressed interest in the youth economy. This represents about, let's say, 6 to 7% of our youthful population of St. Lucia. In addition to that, we have invested over $6.7 million in training, and over $1 million in training, and $6.7 million thereabout in financing in terms of grants and loans. Because as you know, is that some of the challenges that the MSME sector faces, that you have inadequate access to finance, and you have the inability to manage a business. So you have the lack of technical capacity. So that is what we really focus on at the youth economy. And it's not just about access to finance and giving you the necessary training, but we also provide opportunities in terms of networking, in terms of allowing persons to become innovative and creative by exposing them to technology. So, for instance, if you get assistance from the youth economy in terms of receiving a laptop, we're not just giving you a laptop, but we're giving you access to the World Wide Web, to access different countries from all over the world. So we are not just watching locally, but we are watching regionally and internationally, exposing our beneficiaries to that kind of marketplace.
Excellent. Seeing the scope now, or the full scope, as to when it comes to I don't say youth unemployment, because clearly these are young people who are taking the initiative upon themselves to now find their means of creating a business and getting their own self-employment. But seeing that full scope, the different industries, places that people may want to venture into do business, what can you speak for the future of business in St. Lucia?
Well, what is very interesting, you find that while our youth may be focusing on a lot of the traditional businesses, but they're bringing some kind of level of innovation to it. And of course, they're also focusing on new areas. So for instance, if you were to watch agriculture in terms of, hydroponics, you find that the youth, they are able to, bring a different twist to it. So you'll find some of them will advertise on social media. So they do a lot of things that are creative. I remember growing up, there was this gentleman producing CMOS. Now you have young persons now, they are still producing CMOS. However, in terms of the different flavors, that they have introduced, like the ginseng, all different flavors, and they give it different fancy names. So it makes it more appealing and attractive to young persons.
Well, that's one of the ways in which you guys have offered the training and assistance to these young persons. Because some people might believe it's just, you come through, you apply for a grant, you get your grant, and then they're just left out in the wilderness with their grant, and that's it. There's nothing further than that. There's no development, there's nothing like that. How do you guys ensure that these young persons get the development and assistance they need to grow past that and to take it to the next level?
Right, okay. So to date, we have trained over 900 young persons in various disciplines, whether it be digital marketing, bookkeeping, and we focus on a lot of different areas. We want to show you, for instance, how to manage your business, how to differentiate what is revenues from profit, how to make basic decisions, how to handle your bookkeeping, because these things are critical. So the idea is really to develop a holistic entrepreneur, and in addition to that, we also focus on mentorship, whereby we would pair our young person or our young entrepreneur. We refer to them as MSMEs, which is micro, small, and medium enterprises. So as much as possible, we try to pair you with somebody who's into your field so they could give you guidance, basically to prevent you from, or to reduce the probability of you making the same mistakes that they would have made. Because I'll tell you something, being self-employed, it presents its own unique challenges, because a lot of the times for the MSME, if you do not work, you do not get paid. And sometimes when you get paid, when you work, if you do not have a proper system in place for you to collect your receivables, you do not get the actual monies. And again, your cash flow is like the lifeline of any business.
So now, to anyone out there, I'm also thinking and wondering as well, to those who may be watching, who may not need, let's say, the financial assistance aspect, but may want the training and so on, is that still accessible to them if they come to you guys?
Well, yes, we have training programs that are ongoing. For instance, now we'll be focusing on sales and marketing, I believe. But then what normally drives our training depends on when we interview our clients, when we identify those gaps. But of course, you have the traditional areas like the bookkeeping, record keeping. These are what we offer consistently.
So right now, is it still open for persons to send in the application and so on, or have you guys put a cap off for now?
Okay, so currently we are still training persons. However, the demand for let's put it that way, the demand for the youth economy, our products and services has been overwhelming. So what we decided to do was that to temporarily suspend the receipt of applications so that we could focus on clearing the backlog to ensure that we deliver superior customer service. So it's not that we are closed. We are just processing the applications that we have received, to ensure that we deliver superior customer service.
Excellent, excellent. Of course, last question to you, Brian, to the people as well. Is there anything that you want to let those young persons out there, someone who may be watching and a bit down and out, just to know what they can have access to you guys and anything else you want to let out about?
Well, so what I want to encourage our fellow St. Lucians, especially our young entrepreneurs, is that right now in St. Lucia, now is the best time to be a young person in St. Lucia. And why do I say that? Despite of all of the challenges, that the young persons face, I believe in terms of the opportunities that are available to you. For instance, just from the youth economy, you have access to financing, you have grants, you're watching a maximum of 5,000 and loans up to 30,000 with a very competitive interest rate of 3%. And I don't think you could get this at any private institution. So, there is hope. But then, we have to, as young persons, we have to, ensure that we know what is happening in the market. We put ourselves out there. There are opportunities, so you have to take advantage of these opportunities. So come to the youth economy. We are here to serve and to assist you. We will welcome you and we'll help you, develop your business ideas.
Guys, just so you're wondering, I'm a walking testament as well, huh? And I can guarantee you. Watching yesterday's show, you would have known that we caught up with Dora Henry, president of the St. Lucia Athletics Association, to speak to us about Carifta. Now, in true DBS fashion, we couldn't just leave it right there. We spoke to the boss, but we had to speak to the soldiers on ground themselves. We caught up with two of our athletes, the star-studded soldiers, to talk to us about their Carifta experience. Of course, welcome back, DBS family. Now, if you're watching us yesterday, you know that we spoke to Dora Henry, president of the Athletics Association, with concerns of Carifta. DBS style, of course, we had to get two of the members of the star-studded team right here in our presence, Levin and Isabella. Good morning to you both. How y'all feeling?
Morning. Feeling great.
I'm feeling great. What about you?
I'm quite fine, actually. Thanks for asking. All right. Now, first of all, I want to know, in which respects were you participating in?
I took part in the 100 meters and the 4x1.
Okay, all right. Yeah.
I took part in the 400 and 4x4.
All right, so I'm going to dive a little personal with y'all at first. So, what made you start or be interested within sports, especially in your respective field?
Well, from young, I always developed that kind of love for sports. Yes.
And then it just took away with it, you ran with it and so on?
Yes.
All right, excellent. What about you, bro?
From little boy, I was always the fastest on the field, fastest on the track. So from there, I just continue running.
So when you're playing catches, you're just the guy who
catch. They would never want to play freeze tag and thing with me. So.
All right. So with Carifta now, what was your feelings like going towards? Was that your first Carifta? Have you participated before already?
Yes, it was. But I wasn't nervous or anything. I was more excited, ready to run, excited and, just ready for the experience. Yeah.
Excellent. Now, if you, Isabella, how did you prep for Carifta, especially mentally going into those games?
Well, we had a coach there that would have little sessions with us to ask us how we're doing, if we have any issues. She will work with us, and yes, that's how we move around.
So at no point any kind of nerves, nothing like that will be taking you?
Yes, when I was on the blocks, I was afraid that I fall start. Yes, that's all.
Okay, excellent. All right. My brother, with Juju now happening, winning the 100-meter goal and so on, how does that motivate you now with your respects to sport?
It motivates me a lot. I want to be just like Juju, a little better maybe, Yeah. So that's how I feel about that.
I mean, so many other athletes in St. Lucia are looking towards you now because you now being in Carifta and advancing into that level of track. How do you feel now? Because people will look towards you, other youngsters, as inspiration. Does that add any weight on your shoulder in any way whatsoever?
No, not really. I'm happy to be an inspiration to the younger generation. And hopefully they can, grow up to be a great athlete just like I want to be. So, yeah.
What about you, Isabella?
Not really.
Not really?
No.
Okay, interesting.
I don't want them to be like me. I want them to be better than me.
Okay, excellent. Well, St. Lucia, clearly here we have two stars coming up with their mindsets on the way they want to go and advance in the field of sports. All right. So now coming back home, what's your future plans now?
I'm looking forward to going to college, hopefully. So I'm working on that. Hopefully I can get a scholarship to go abroad and take my career further.
So you do plan to continue in sports?
Yes,
Fully.
fully.
Are there any other aspects, any other areas you want to touch in as well?
No, not really. I just fully committed to the sport. Want to be the best version of myself in terms of sprinting, and yeah, that's it.
Apart from Juju, obviously, who are some of your inspirations or people you look up to?
Noah Lyles, Letsile Tubogo, Alison Felix, Usain Bolt. Yeah, those are some of the people I look up to in track.
Excellent, excellent. Same question for you. What are some people that you look up to in sport?
June Alfred. That's all.
Couldn't say it any better. So, Isabella, with you as well, are you looking to only pursue sport? Are you looking at other areas in life or a career that you want to pursue?
Well, I want to continue with sports.
Any
Yeah.
other areas or do you just stick into the track?
I'm going to stick in the track to see how it works out.
That sounds spectacular. All right. Well, Sinusha, I'm not going to hold them back any longer. They look like they're two very busy young individuals. Of course, congrats to y'all on making the team and pursuing and flying the flag of Sinusha High. All right? All right. So take care, the two of you. And Sinusha will be right back. This is DBS This Morning.
Welcome to your holistic path to wellness with Dr. Tanya Bobran. I'm Dr. Tanya Bobran of the Satya Center for Functional and Integrative Medicine, and today I want to talk about labs. So many times patients and clients come to me and tell me, Doc, I just don't feel right. Something is off. I don't feel like myself. I feel like a shell of myself, but my labs are normal. So I'm okay, right? But I still don't feel right. So what can you do, or what can I do to help? And I want to discuss the concept of functional ranges or optimal ranges that we use in functional medicine. A lab range has a very wide range in normal conventional medicine. And most of us have been trained to look at it when it's either too low than the lowest level or higher than the highest level, then it's out of range, and that's when we assume there's a problem. But what if it's very close to it's still within the range, but it's very close to the lowest limit, or it's very close to the upper limit? If we start to look at getting our labs in the mid-range of normal, which is what we call optimal ranges, then that's when I know that you're functioning at your best. So we aim for optimal ranges in, I would say, most of your labs. So when I look at a lab result, I do look for when there is red, which is what most people tell me. There's no red on my labs, which is when it's totally out of range. But I also look at whether it's too close to the lowest limit or the upper limit. I look for mid-range. And if many of your labs are out of it, then I know you're not functioning optimally. And from that, I can detect a pattern. And then hopefully see where we can get you to optimal ranges. But it's important that you know your numbers, and it is also important that we test correctly. So we have an internationally accredited lab on island with lab services. So we know that the lab tests are being done according to international standards. But we also need to be able to know that we are testing the proper labs for you. Many times, just depending on who you see, if you see a specialist, they're going to test the labs that are for their specialty. So maybe the cardiologist will do certain labs that they will want to look at. The neurologist may look for something else. The gynecologist will look for something else. What I like to do is to take everything and look at it as one, because you are a multi-dimensional person. You're not just bits and bobs of a person. I have to put everything because you're a whole person. The other thing I want to discuss is how do we get you to optimal range? And that is mainly lifestyle. Most of the time, patients want a quick fix. They want a prescription. They want me to tell them, the prescription will fix it. But lifestyle is your most important medicine. To optimize your well-being, what you can do first and foremost is look at how you're nourishing yourself. What are you putting into your body? What type of foods are you eating? Are you eating clean, whole, unprocessed foods? Are you drinking adequate amounts of water? Are you exercising consistently? Are you looking at what you're putting on your body as well, what your environment has around it? Are you breathing in toxins from your environment? And the other step, and these are all pillars of my More Joy method, because I truly believe that to optimize health, we must look at physical, emotional, and spiritual lives. Because we are, as I said, multidimensional. So are we looking at the emotional part? Are you managing your stress in a healthy way? Most of the time, we either ignore the stress or we take a glass of wine, happy hour, and I'll feel good after, or I will take a tablet to help me sleep better. But these are not healthy ways of addressing the root cause. It might work for a quick fix, but it is not looking for sustained healing. So we want to make sure that you're getting 7 to 9 hours of deep restorative sleep, that your stress levels are being managed in a healthy way, that talking about self-worth, are you owning your passion and your power and your purpose? We also talk about the soul joy pillar of the method, where we nourish your connections. Do you have a daily spiritual practice where you connect with something deeper than yourself? Do you have a meditation practice? Are you journaling? Are you connected with your family and friends? Do you have what we call this work-life balance? Are we working too much and neglecting another part, or are we neglecting some? We always feel like we're neglecting something. Are we able to just find a balance? And the most important part is the connection with ourselves. Are we truly connected to who we are? Self-love, self-care, self-forgiveness, self-awareness. Do we own who we are? So many times we live in the past. I wish I had done this. I wish I hadn't done this. This is your call now to forgive yourself, because self-forgiveness is a very, very powerful healing tool. And I want us to start to use that tool to heal our bodies and our lives.
And with that, all good things must come to an end. But it's not the end yet. We're just in the middle. We're at Wednesday. We're diving down to Friday, guys. All right? I hope you enjoyed the show today. And of course, we have another impactful, amazing show tomorrow as well. Stick with us right here on DBS. Same time, same place. You know where to be. All right? Good morning. Enjoy the rest. Yes, I.